Everyone sees her as a beggar, but her real identity will shock you. Mama Monica was a well-known woman in the village. Everyone knew her as the mother of 3 rich young men and a daughter in Kwale village. Her name carried weight, and whenever people mentioned her, it was always with respect. Long before the strange behavior started, Mama Monica was known as a calm, soft-spoken woman who minded her business and lived quietly. Even though her children were not staying in the village with her, they always sent some foodstuffs, clothes, and other items to their mother. Big bags of rice would arrive, cartons of noodles, gallons of oil, wrappers, shoes, and sometimes even money would be sent to her regularly. People saw these things enter her compound, and everyone knew that Madame Monica lacked nothing. Her house was simple but comfortable. She never complained of hunger, she never complained of sickness, she was not abandoned. The villagers all knew that her sons were doing very well in the city, and many women in the village even wished they were in her position. What shocked the villagers was that Mama Monica always begged by the roadside at the village square, despite having everything. Early every morning, after the village had started waking up, she would take her place at the same spot. She would sit quietly with a small bowl in front of her, her wrapper neatly tied, her head covered with a scarf. People passing by would stop and look at her in disbelief. Some would greet her, some would shake their heads, some would drop small coins of food into her bowl, confused but still moved by pity. Others would whisper among themselves, wondering why a woman like her would choose to beg. Everyone thought that her children would have been against her begging. Many believed that once the sons heard about it, they would rush home and stop her immediately. Some villagers even assumed that the children did not know what their mother was doing. But they were comfortable with it, and they never stopped her from begging. Whenever the children came home during festivals, they saw her. They greeted her with respect. They provided for her as usual. They never questioned her. They never warned her. They never tried to change her behavior. And this made the villagers more curious. People began to ask questions. Some said maybe Mama Monica had lost her senses. Others said maybe she was pretending. Some believed there was a deep secret behind her actions. A few people even said that rich people behave in strange ways that poor people may never understand. But Mama Monica, every day, still sat by the village square begging. Rain or sunshine, market day or quiet day, she was always there. She spoke little, she begged calmly, she never argued, she never explained herself. This continued for many years, and no one knew the secret behind it. The village watched, the rumors grew, the questions remained unanswered, and Mama Monica kept sitting at the village square, begging just the same way, day after day. People became worried about the mysterious begging, but couldn't figure out the cause. Day after day, they watched Mama Monica sit at the same spot, stretching out her bowl, her face calm, as if nothing was wrong. The villagers talked endlessly about it, yet no one could point out the real reason behind her actions. Upon how rich her children are, they never complained about their mother's begging, not even once. No quarrel, no public denial, no warning. This silence from her children confused the villagers even more. If the children were suffering shame, they hid it well. If they were angry, no one saw it. Years passed, and she was still into begging. Mama Monica grew older, her hair more gray, her back slightly bent, but her routine never changed. The village changed, new houses were built, children grew up, but she remained there, begging. Neighbors, market women, bypassers, and the whole village became tired of her begging. What once caused pity slowly turned into anger and frustration. People felt mocked. Some felt she was disgracing the village. Others felt she was enjoying the attention too much.
They started insulting her each day she came for begging. As she sat down, voices would rise. Harsh words followed her before coins ever did. Some people no longer greeted her. Some deliberately passed her without looking. They called her various kinds of names, names that cut deep, names that stripped her of dignity. Yet, Mama Monica never responded. She never shouted back. She never defended herself. Some said she was greedy, that's why she begged. They believed she had enough at home and still wanted more from innocent people. Some said maybe the children didn't give her enough money. Others said she was cursed or stubborn. The insults continued for a long time until one day the village head and the village elders decided that enough was enough. They sought for a meeting with her 3 children. Word spread quickly that something serious was about to happen. 3 days later, they came for the meeting. The 3 brothers arrived together, well-dressed, confident, and calm. The entire village gathered. Men, women, youths, and elders all stood around, waiting to hear the truth. The head of the village asked the 3 brothers in front of the villagers. His voice was firm, filled with authority. He asked why their mother was begging at the village market square while they were extremely rich. The question echoed through the crowd. The villagers held their breath. The first son spoke calmly. He said that their mother did it for fun. Murmurs filled the air. People looked at one another in disbelief. Fun? Begging for fun? The second son then spoke. He said she might be using the money to charity to other people in need. This explanation brought more confusion. Some villagers nodded slowly, while others shook their heads, unconvinced. Then the last son spoke. He mistakenly spoke angrily with a harsh word. His tone changed. His voice was sharp. He said that their mother never forced anyone to give her money when begging. He said people should stop disturbing them about it. As soon as he finished speaking, the atmosphere changed. On hearing that, the villagers were upset and furious at what the last son said. Voices rose immediately. Anger spread like fire. People felt insulted. They felt disrespected. Some shouted that the sons were proud. Others shouted that the family was mocking the entire village. The elders struggled to calm the crowd. The village head raised his staff, calling for silence, but the tension remained heavy in the air. Eyes turned from the sons to the crowd, from the crowd back to the sons. Mama Monica was not present at the meeting, yet her presence was felt everywhere. The villagers stood restless, their minds filled with questions, anger and confusion as the meeting continued under the hot sun with no clear answer still given.
Everywhere was noisy at the village head compound. Voices were loud, people were shouting, and anger filled the air. Everyone was angry because of Mama Monica's 3rd son's response. What he said sounded careless to the villagers, and they felt insulted and ignored. The crowd murmured angrily, pointing fingers and shaking heads. After much argument and discussion, the head of the village, the elders, and the villagers came to a conclusion. They all agreed that no one should give Mama Monica money again. The decision was final. The elders nodded in agreement, and the villagers voiced their approval loudly. Mama Monica's sons left for the town where they were based. They left quietly, without looking back, while the villagers watched them go. Some villagers felt satisfied, believing they had finally solved the problem. Others still felt uneasy, but no one spoke up again. 2 days later, Mama Monica was seen again, begging. She returned to her usual spot at the village square, just as she had done for years. She sat down calmly and placed her bowl in front of her. This time, no one gave her money or even looked in her direction to help. People passed her by as if she was not there. Some turned their faces away deliberately. Others walked faster when they saw her. But rather, people were saying a lot of bad words to her. Insults followed her from morning till evening. Harsh words were thrown at her carelessly. Mama Monica listened quietly. She lowered her head and said nothing. She knew that something was wrong. She could feel it. The change was too sudden, too strong. She understood that the village must have made a decision without her knowledge. She knew that this might affect her children's financial life. That thought troubled her deeply. As much as she begged, she never wanted harm to come to her children. That night, she could not sleep well. Her mind was heavy. The next day, she went to the Baba that prepared the charm for her to complain about the situation. She walked a long distance to reach him. When she arrived, she explained everything that had happened, from the meeting to the insults and how nobody was giving her money again. The Baba listened carefully. After a long silence, he spoke. But the solution to her problem was more dangerous. His words were heavy and frightening. Mama Monica hesitated, but she was desperate. The Baba prepared another charm for her. He warned her seriously before handing it over. He told her that this charm was stronger than the first one. But this time around, as soon as you look at her face, you must surely give her money, which enriches her children the more. The Baba explained that the charm would force people's hands to give, whether they wanted to or not. But there was one condition from the Baba, a condition that shocked her. He said that she would never bath again until the day she died. No water on her body, no washing, nothing. This was difficult. Mama Monica thought deeply about it. She imagined the hardship, the discomfort and the shame, but she also thought about her children and their prosperity. In the end, she chose it. Her begging money at the village square was going as usual. At first, it worked. People who looked at her would suddenly stop and drop money into her bowl without understanding why. Her bowl filled up again. The flow of money returned. After 1 month, she began smelling because of lack of bathing. The smell started slowly but grew stronger with each passing day. Her clothes were dirty, her body carried a heavy odor. People were no longer coming closer to her or looking in her direction because of the odor from her body. The same people who once felt forced to give her money now avoided her completely. Nobody was giving her money. Everyone began to run from her. Traders moved their stores when she came close. Market women covered their noses. Passers-by crossed to the other side of the road. As soon as people saw her coming, everyone would run, both adults, male, female, and children. Children screamed and scattered. Men complained loudly. Women shouted warnings to others. Mama Monica continued walking slowly toward the village square, holding her bowl, while the crowd scattered in fear and disgust, leaving her standing alone in the open space, surrounded by silence and rejection. Mama Monica walked every day to the market square without getting nothing. Each morning, she carried her bowl and followed the same familiar path, hoping that something would change, but nothing did. Days passed, weeks passed, but nothing changed. Instead of improving, the situation kept getting worse. She could not get anything from begging anymore. People avoided her completely. Due to the odor from Mama Monica's body, the suffering became unbearable for the villagers. The smell spread wherever she went. It clung to the air. Even those with strong hearts could not endure it anymore. The village women could not endure it. They complained among themselves, covering their noses whenever Mama Monica passed by. Some said she was now looking more dirty and scary. Children cried when they saw her. Dogs barked and ran away. The women held a meeting and decided that Mama Monica must be bathed. They believed it was the only solution. They planned it carefully, agreeing on a day and time. On Saturday morning, which was the village sanitation day, Mama Monica came out to try her normal begging, hoping she could succeed in getting money. She walked slowly toward the market square, unaware of what awaited her. The village women covered their faces so Mama Monica would not notice who was involved in bathing her. They tied wrappers around their faces and heads. Some disguised their voices. They did not want her to recognize them later. But they never knew it was an advantage to them from not being subdued by her charm. Since they covered their faces and avoided direct eye contact, the charm did not work on them. They bathed her forcefully. Some poured water on her, some scrubbed her body hard, some held her down while others continued washing. Mama Monica screamed with her old voice. She cried loudly, begging them to stop, but they did not listen. They continued bathing her until her body was clean. The charm was broken. After that day, Mama Monica returned home quietly. She did not go back to the market square again. 3 days later, after the bath, Mama Monica died in her mansion built by her children. She died quietly, alone in her room. Before her children got the news, things had already begun to change to worse for her children in the town. Trouble followed trouble. Firstly, the first son's warehouse packed with goods got burnt. Everything he worked for was reduced to ashes overnight. The second son lost his 40-foot container with goods at the seaport. The goods disappeared mysteriously and no explanation was given. The third son collapsed and died on hearing the death of his mother. Shock and pain took his life instantly. Their only daughter, Monica, who had been away for a long time due to marriage, was sent out from her husband's house. She returned home in shame and sorrow. The remaining 2 brothers came back to the village very poor and wretched. Their wealth was gone. Their pride was gone. Their mansion at the village got burnt. They lost everything they had left. Nothing remained. Moral lesson: greed, secrets, and evil acts may look profitable for a while, but they always end in destruction. What is done in darkness will surely come to light.